Welcome, Sports Addict Live, middle of the afternoon edition. First time I've actually gone live. Usually it's just recorded. The show's called Sports Addict Live, but I've never been live. So it was either change the podcast name, change the show name, or actually go live. So here I am. Been doing some excellent work with fantasy sports heroics on the NHL, but there's some games in the afternoon. So I just thought I'd come on, do my thing, share my piece. No time for the intro music, no time for all that stuff, for the countdown and blah 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 blah. But there is time to tell you that Sports Addict Live is brought to you by First Round Collectibles. With over 40 years experience, First Round Collectibles offers the widest variety of quality Beckett graded sports cards anywhere. Representing 10 major sports, First Round has all your favorite players from all your favorite teams at great prices. We are proud of our knowledgeable staff and top-rated customer service, and our reviews vouch for our integrity. Visit us today at firstroundcollectibles.com and find your heroes. That's the number one, STRoundcollectibles.com. First Round Collectibles, sports cards for sports fans. Once again, welcome to Sports Addict Live NHL edition. Bunch of afternoon games starting in about an hour, just under an hour, 1:08 Eastern Standard Time. First one, Detroit in Boston. Just pulling up the standings here. Detroit in Boston. Detroit is plus 170 on the money line. Boston minus 205. I wrote these down earlier. They definitely could have changed. On the puck line, Detroit plus 1.5, minus 155. Boston minus 1.5 on the puck line, plus 124. The over-under is 6. Over is minus 115, under minus 105. So here's my thing with this game. I really like what we're seeing from Detroit this year. They're currently 9-6-3, 21 points. Boston's 14-1-3. I really like what we're seeing from Detroit this year. I think that was a question the whole summer, right? Between Detroit, between Buffalo, between the Senators, is which one of these teams going to step up and make that step forward? And we've been seeing that from Detroit so far this year. However, 2 games last weekend in Sweden. They have not played yet since coming home from Sweden. It's an afternoon game. I believe Husso is in net, and he did not go with them on the trip to Sweden, hasn't played in a long time. And so for me, either way, I just think Boston minus 1.5. That's the play here. You're getting plus 124, which isn't crazy value, but I really like it. They are 6 in goals per game, 15th, and this is Detroit talking about now, 15th in goals against, 15th power play, 15th penalty killing. So right there, towing the line, middle of the road, where Boston 10th goals per, first goals against, 12th on the power play, and first on the penalty kill. The over under at 6. If it was 6.5, I'd be more confident with the under. I definitely like Boston minus 1.5 more than I do the under. But I can see this being a 4-1, 3-1, maybe 3-2, and maybe 4-2. You get the push. The adjusted over at 7, or adjusted under at 7, I could get on board with as well. DeBrincat has 18 points. He's minus 130 for over half a point. Pastrnak, only 4 games so far with 0 points. 10 games so far with 2+ points. 2+ points for him is plus 120. This is all on DraftKings. So over 1.5 points, plus 120. You might pick Boston minus 1.5. And I would take Pastrnak with 2+ points. All right, next game. Rangers are in Philadelphia. And I think the time has come where I think the time has come where Philadelphia, they're a good team. I think a lot of people weren't expecting a lot from them this year. But I like what I'm seeing from this team. The weekend, like last weekend, they were phenomenal against Vegas. They've looked really good. I really like what we're seeing from the Flyers. However, plus 120 at home, it's enticing. I just think the Rangers are the better team. Really close game against Pittsburgh, 1-0 the other night. Um, I mean, like the Rangers, first goals per game, second goals against, third power play, 10th penalty kill. The 10th on the penalty kill, pretty good penalty kill still, but the Flyers, like they're 28th on the power play, right? So I don't see that really being too much of a factor. I like the Rangers in this game. The minus 142 is a bit too much juice for me on the money line. The minus 1.5, I'm looking at it plus 170. I think a bet that I like better. Panarin has 26 points this year, 11 on the power play. And with how good this power play is, Philadelphia's penalty kill is only 14th in the league, kind of middle of the road. Over half a power play point on DraftKings is minus 105. And I really like that move. Panarin and Kreider both have 10 goals, plus 135 for Panarin, plus 140 for Kreider. Now, a prop that I've been looking at over the last few games on the Flyers side of things is Sanheim has 16 points. He leads the team in points. And for over half a point, you're still getting plus money at plus 105. And it's not like a crazy, like, sure thing, but you're still getting plus money for the guy who leads his team in points. I don't mind that. Konechny, 11 goals. He's plus 155. I like the minus 1.5 at plus 170 for the Rangers. I'm more confident in the over here. I think we're looking at a 4-3, 5-3, maybe 5-2 game. But I really do like Panarin. 11 points on the power play so far this year, minus 105 for over half a power play point. Next game, near and dear to my heart, Toronto and Chicago. In Chicago, funny enough, the Raptors are also in Chicago later on tonight. Just for whatever that's worth, which is probably not much to you, but it means something to me. All right, Toronto, minus 258 on the money line, plus 105 for minus 1.5. Over 6.5 is the total. Chicago's plus 210 on the money line, plus 1.5 on the puck line is minus 125. Now, plus 105 is pretty low for a puck line, for the minus side of the puck line. I personally would stay away from this. I would take Toronto on like a money line parlay. I already really like a Boston Rangers Toronto parlay. Obviously, minus 258 is a lot of juice to take them solo on the money line. This is my thinking. I watch Toronto. I've been watching Toronto my whole life. They love to play down to their competition. They had a great road trip in Sweden, the ultimate road trip in Sweden. And they're playing really well. They're on a, I believe, 4 or 5 game winning streak. They're playing very, very well. Afternoon game, haven't played since Sweden. I love the over 6.5. Minus 122. So you're paying some juice for that over, but I really like the over here. 7th in goals per game is Toronto, but they are 24th in goals against, and Chicago's 28th in goals against. And I think that matters here. Toronto's goaltending has been very hit or miss all year, more miss than hit. They have good goaltenders. I can see this game being 5-3, 6-3. We might even get like, nah, to get into the sevens might be aggressive, but I see this game being really high scoring, 5-3, 5-2, 6-3, 6-2, that type of a game. I really love the over. That's my favorite bet when it comes to those lines. Nylander has 27 points. I believe he's gotten a point in every single game this year. Now, over 1.5 points is plus 110. Um, and so I mean Pasternak for over 1.5 point is plus 120. So for me, I really like that play for Nylander. Um, where was I here? 10. Nylander has 10 power play points. Austin Matthews has 7 power play points. Um, you're getting that all at plus money. Mitch Marner and JT also to get plus money on a power play point. The one sneaky one is Morgan Riley on the power play. Now he's out there with the big boys. He is a big boy. He's out there with the big boys on basically like a minute and a half on every power play. He only has 4 power play points so far this year, 4 or 5. And he's plus 270. You're getting all the other guys in the 100s, and Riley is plus 270 for a power play point. And I really, really like that bet. That's just one of those bets where if Chicago gets into power play trouble, they're 21st on the PK and Toronto's 5th on the power play. And I just, if you're going to go for more value, I really like Morgan Riley on the plus power play points at plus 270. Other than that, I love the over and maybe the Toronto money line in a money line parlay. All right, moving on. Columbus Blue Jackets are in New Jersey, coming off a massive win the other night. Now they're in New Jersey, the team of my boy John from Fantasy Sports Heroics. New Jersey, New Jersey is minus 258 on the money line. Columbus is plus 210. And New Jersey's only plus 100 for minus 1.5 on the puck line, while Columbus plus 1.5 is minus 115. And I think that tells you what we're thinking here, what people are thinking here is if you're minus 258 on the money line, but you're only plus 100 on the puck line, that shows a real lack of trust in this team. The over is 6.5, and that's minus 135. New Jersey, even with Jack Hughes back, they've not been on the best of rolls lately. Tough 4-0 loss the other night. I personally, I want to give them faith here. Minus 1.5. Columbus has not been playing well this year, and they're coming off that crazy win the other night. I just think it's just too much for a Devils team that needs to shape up or ship out, as they say. Plus 100 is not great value for a puck line, but I like it regardless. Bratt has 23 points, 16 of those on the power play, and Hughes has 22 points, 12 of those on the power play. Bratt is plus 160 for a power play point, while Hughes is plus 124. I really like both of those bets. And the thing that deters me from the over is that what we saw from the Blue Jackets the other night is an anomaly. Like they are 22nd in goals per game. I don't love that. That over. I'm enticed by the under at plus 114. But with a team like the Devils, who should be scoring way more than they are, and they're like both teams goals against. The Blue Jackets are 26th in goals against, and the Devils are 29th in goals against. So for me, I I'm I want to take that under, but the goals against on both sides is what kind of deters me for that. But I would take the Devils on the puck line at plus 100. All right. The Oilers and Washington. This is the deal. Now, if you've been watching the Fantasy Sports Heroics NHL show, you know the emotional roller coaster that I've been going through with the Oilers. They're not my team, but they're from my country, and I love me some Oiler hockey. Connor McDavid is from like 20 minutes away from me. We got a lot of love for that guy. Anything Oilers related, I want no part of right now. If you watched the show last week, I talked about how much I hated the Woodcroft firing. I understand you got to do something to shake things up, but I hated that firing. It's clearly not his fault. This team still can't win games. They score 3-4 goals a game, but they cannot win. They let goals in like nuts. The fact that you brought back these two goaltenders, no disrespect, and thought that you could be a Stanley Cup contender. Everybody saw this coming, but you, not this level of ineptness, but everybody saw them letting goals in, right? Like that's just kind of what they have been doing. Washington is plus 110 underdogs at home against a team that cannot win. Washington has won 5 straight, 9 out of the last 11. They've scored 4 goals in 4 of the last 5 games. And they're underdogs at home, which it's concerning to me that that line is what it is. I don't understand it. They should not be underdogs in this position. I feel like we're still either like Vegas is just begging us to take the Capitals and they know something we don't know, or we're still judging this Oilers team based on what they were, what they could be, and not what they are. I love Washington plus 110 here. I understand if those odds kind of concern you and you stay away from it. I get it. If you don't want to bet a side, over 6.5 is minus 120. Like I just said, Washington scored 4 or more in 4 of the last 5 games. The Oilers have scored 3 or more in 6 straight, 4 or more in 4 of those 6. Now, the Oilers are 21st goals per, Washington's 29th in goals per. Oilers are 30th in goals against, while Washington is 70th. I do understand why the under might be the play here, but I'm looking at a 5-3 game. I just think both these teams, like Washington's been clicking lately. The Oilers cannot get a save. And I really do think that this game is going to be a high scoring one. Washington over 3.5 goals is plus 125. And that might be my favorite bet for this game. Just go with it. Like I'm fading the Oilers. I don't love fading them on the money line like I probably will today with Washington. Because the Oilers team can win, they can score. They're just not doing it right now. But I would rather fade them by betting on the over for goals against them. And Washington over 3.5 goals is plus 125. Nashville, St. Louis. Nashville is minus 105 on the money line. St. Louis is minus 115 at home. On the puck line, minus 1.5 for St. Louis, plus 205. And Nashville on the puck line, plus 1.5 is minus 250. I I don't really know where to go with this game. I don't. St. Louis is very up and down. They won like 6-5 against the Coyotes the other night, but some nights they look fantastic, other nights they look awful. And they just got crushed by the Sharks not too long ago. They're both in the bottom half of the league with goals per game. St. Louis is 10th in goals allowed. And while Nashville is 20th. On the power play, they're both in the bottom half of the league, and St. Louis is 31st. Penalty killing, they're both in the bottom half of the league. I don't really know where to lean here. I kind of like the over 6 at minus 115. A couple prop bets that I do like though. Forsberg, he has 9 goals, 21 points, plus 110 for a goal tonight. Riley has 9 goals, 17 points. He's plus 175 for a goal. And Thomas on the St. Louis side has 7 goals, 18 points, plus 240 for a goal. So I really do like those props. But other than that, not too much. I don't have a side. I'm staying away from the side in this one, but I might take the over. All right, 2 left. The Kings and the Ducks. Kings minus 198 on the money line. Ducks plus 164. Minus 1.5 for the Kings on the puck line. Plus 130. Plus 150. Plus 1.5 for the Ducks is minus 155. Over under is 6. Again, I don't really have a side here. I like the Kings on the money line, but that's a lot of juice. I'd probably throw that into money line parlay. The Kings, though, 2nd in goals per game, 4th in goals allowed. The Ducks, 26th goals per game, 14th goals allowed. I do like the under here. I don't think the Ducks will be able to score too much. Plus 100 for the under. I really do like the under in this game. A random prop. There's a lot of Kings props that are just a bunch of minuses. On the Duck side, McTavish has 20 points, and for over half a point is plus 100. And I really do like that one. Other than that, my favorite bet of this game is probably the under. To the Canadiens and the Sharks, last game in the afternoon slate. Last game in the afternoon slate, Canadiens in San Jose. Man, Canadiens are minus 148 on the money line. Sharks plus 124. Canadiens minus 1.5 on that. Puck lines plus 164. The over is 6.5. I mean, what do we say about this game? Like the Canadiens, 23rd in goals per game, 25th goals against, 20th in power play, 26th in penalty killing. Sharks are 32nd in goals per game, 32nd in goals against, 22nd in power play, 30th in penalty kill. I don't know. I don't know. You can pick the under, it's minus money. You can pick the over, it's minus money. As a Canadian, I'm going to roll with my guys. Plus 164, minus 1.5. I think this Canadian team does play hard. They can score on occasion. And for me, the 32nd in goals allowed. And I know that the Sharks are like losing like 10-2 to somebody every week. Bets that I like the most on the prop side, Suzuki, Caulfield, and Matheson they all have 8 or more power play points. That's plus 140 or higher on DraftKings. So I like those as far as the props go. Other than that, that's all I got for the afternoon slate. Again, I like Boston rather on the puck line, plus 124. I like the Rangers on the puck line. Toronto, I like that over a lot. Devils on the puck line. Washington on the money line and the over. Also, Washington over 3.5 goals. And that's where I'm at for this game. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Take a look out. I just released a new episode with my boy Tom Brown. We talked some NFL from last night's Thanksgiving slate. And we talk a little bit about the games on the weekend. Once again, I am super pumped to join the team at Fantasy Sports Heroics. So check out what they do. Follow them on Twitter and on YouTube. They got lots of stuff going on, from the morning shows to the NFL show, the NBA show, college, fantasy, the NHL, you name it, they're doing it. Check them out. Until next time, I'm Mark Sauter. Follow me at Sport Addict Mark. And until next time, sorry about that. Until next time, get hooked.